Hi, I'm Lisa,
And I'm Diana.
and this is Pillow Fort Chillers, where we talk about crime, cryptids, and everything creepy that keeps us up at night.
And there's a lot of it. And today we're going to be talking about the Ken McElroy murder, which is probably one of my favorite cases.
Remember, we did say that the next case was going to be a murder, but maybe justified? What do you think? Are there any murders that you think are justified, or are you what's the word? Not chaotic good, but it's the other one. Lawful good. Are you lawful good? You think the justice system should always prevail? Because it didn't this time.
It really didn't. And
really
honestly,
didn't.
Okay, what do you think I am?
What do I think you are?
I think you're a chaotic good.
I'm definitely a chaotic good. Ooh. That is hard. I think you're either... So it's lawful good, and then there's neutral good? Or what is it? Yeah, it's neutral. Okay. Ooh. Honestly, a chaotic neutral.
I think I am too.
Oh my god, I got it. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm definitely a chaotic good. Sometimes neutral good, but definitely a chaotic good. But no, you're chaotic neutral for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been known to dabble in the evil.
We should go over each person in each case and talk, or people in cases and talk about what we think they are on the chart.
Yeah. This, Ken McElroy,
Chaotic evil.
chaotic evil.
Chaotic evil.
Chaotic.
Hands down.
Everyone else in the town, lawful evil.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Chaotic good.
Depending on how you look at it.
Chaotic neutral? True neutral. Depending on how you look at it.
I would say vigilante justice might be a little lawful evil.
Lawful evil?
Because it's evil that you're
Okay, but like the person,
taking
like
a life.
the person who killed the murderer, lawful evil, but the people were just complicit. So wouldn't that just make them kind of like neutral, or like maybe chaotic neutral?
Yeah, they would probably be a chaotic neutral. Because I'm telling you right now, if I were one of these town folks, I would have been. I wouldn't have seen nothing.
Nothing.
I don't know nothing about nothing.
Nothing. I didn't
Nothing
see
about nothing.
So today's drink of the day is
A vodka Red Bull for me.
And I'm just drinking a Corona, which is weird for both of us because we have our cups, our fancy girlfriend cups, and I don't normally drink beer out of a cup with a straw.
And I typically don't drink Red Bull with a straw,
But I'm just switching it up today.
I'm straight trash, and normally when I make a vodka Red Bull, I'll just drink some of the Red Bull out of the can and then pour the vodka into the can and give it a little.
Does that make you trash?
A little bit, yeah.
Like trailer trash?
Yes. I do not live in a trailer. I live in an apartment. I'm apartment trash.
Is in an apartment the trailer of the house world?
No, a trailer would be the trailer of the house world.
But a trailer is a car. Are you talking about like a mobile home?
What is a trailer park, Lisa?
Yeah, but those are like RVs like a lot of the time too. You don't ever see RVs at trailer, right? Like when I think trailer trash, I think like someone in an RV. I guess mobile home. I don't know because I lived in Georgia, and let me tell you, like you would see the outsides of the homes and you'd be like, wow, that looks really trashy. And you go inside, that's like a mansion. People do up there, and they leave the outside looking really ugly because they don't want anyone to know how nice it is on the inside and all the stuff that they have.
I'm telling you right now, so we live in Southern California. I've been, looking at houses and stuff. I've been looking at some of these like mobile homes or manufactured homes that are in like trailer parks. Some of them are super fucking nice on the inside.
Yeah.
Super nice.
You go in and it's like freaking archway and like flat screens and really nice like $3,000 leather couch, but on the outside it looks like garbage.
It looks like it belongs in a trailer park.
But they do that because they don't want robbers to know they got some rich people stuff on the inside, and then their mortgage is super low. Honestly, it's like
I am going to say that I do not have patio furniture because I don't want people to think that we have patio furniture money. In reality, it's because we don't have patio furniture money.
I don't want them to know that we don't have patio furniture money.
Yeah.
You know what? Put dining room table chairs outside.
That won't work.
Really
'Cause
throw them off.
I don't have dining room table chairs. I have dining room table benches.
We need to go to a thrift store.
Savers.
Stat. Say less.
This has gone off the rails.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Anyway.
We really are two squirrels with ADHD.
We need to, oh yeah, her boyfriend said we're like two squirrels with ADHD, and I resent that. I mean, it's true, but you didn't have to say it.
He also said that we share a brain cell and only one of us can have it at a time.
Like I said, it's true, but like you don't have to say it.
You know. Anyways.
Whatever.
So today we're talking about Ken McElroy, the man who was murdered by the entire town where he lived, which is super fun. So Ken was born in 1934 and was the 15th of 16 children.
My uterus could never.
Women back then were just built different.
That wasn't even like that long ago. I think she was just.
1934 was quite a long time ago. It was almost 100 years ago.
That's not that long in the grand scheme when you think about women, you know. Like 16 kids? Like, girl. You busy.
Duggars, what's up? Anyways, they were a poor migrant family and lived in multiple places between Kansas and the Ozarks, but finally settled in Skidmore, Missouri.
Skidmore.
Yeah. Never been?
Don't want to be.
Well, now that he's not there, it might be okay. So,
I don't know. I've been to Missouri, and I can tell you there's a reason why they call it that state Missouri. Sorry if you're from Missouri.
I think the people from St. Louis are really going to be mad at you right now.
What? Okay, look. I served in the military in Missouri, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. But it was really cold, and then it was really hot and humid, and I just didn't like any of it. But I'm from California, so I think
that's the problem.
I think Californians are just bougie about weather.
Wed flag?
Wet flag. Watch out for red flags.
Which Ken McElroy was a walking red flag. He dropped out of school at age 15 in the 8th grade. Which, let's start with the fact that math is not mathing. So he's already doing
He was
bad
15 in the 8th grade. Girl.
Yep.
Read a book.
Yeah.
They held him back so many times. They just said, you know what? Get out. You dumb.
Yeah.
You dumb as hell.
So after he left, being a super 8th grader, he became the town nuisance with a reputation of cattle rustling, which the Californian in me doesn't know what that is, but it sounds like it's a very nuisance to these cows, so please stop doing that.
Cattle rustling? Quit rustling the livestock.
Yeah. He was a small-time thief, but the main thing was he was a womanizer and not in the fun Britney Spears way.
You're a womanizer, womanizer. Oh, you're a womanizer, baby. You are.
I bought that album in New York City, in Times Square, when I was 13.
Slay.
And the Lady Gaga album. And a Nickelback album.
I didn't know until I was older that Christina Aguilera's Genie in a Bottle was about rubbing herself in a place that was inappropriate, and then, take 10-year-old me in the back seat of the van. I'm a genie in a bottle. You better rub me the right way. My family just laughing, and I thought they were laughing at me because I was singing and not because I was talking about.
You know that song by Shaggy? It wasn't me. Singing that with my chest at like 8 or 9. Whole chest.
And then they wonder how we turned out this way.
In the third seat in the Winnebago. It wasn't a Winnebago. What the fuck? The Windstar.
I have trauma.
Elroy was suspected of being involved in the theft of grain, gasoline, antiques, and livestock for more than 2 decades, but somehow avoided conviction when he was charged with anything. He was charged 21 times and never got convicted of anything. So let me just start by saying, one, the system's fucked. Especially back here in the olden days in Missouri.
And you know what? Like, I understand if this was, like, hundreds of years ago, and, like, you know, we didn't really have the same kind of controlled chaos that is the political system and the judicial system. But, like,
At this point, it was almost 1950.
this was just crazy. Because it was, like, it's like we either had the dumbest judge presiding over, or he had just the best lawyer I've ever heard in my life. Or both. I mean...
And I think it was also, like, people just didn't want to deal with him. He was a very intimidating person. And unfortunately, a lot of the times that the charges were dropped was because people would say he intimidated witnesses out of testifying.
Well, it's crazy because you'd think nowadays when the judicial system doesn't want to deal with someone, they just lock them up instead of not locking them up.
Yeah.
Oh, how times have changed.
I know. A lot of times, charges were dropped because people would say that he intimidated them out of testifying. Quite frankly, I've seen pictures of this man. I could take him in a parking lot of the Denny's.
He was so unremarkable.
Really, honestly.
He was just like an average, unremarkable person.
Yeah.
He must have really had an energy about him that was very scary. I mean, he was... Based on the stuff that people say about him and the things that he did... He almost seemed like he could definitely have been like a sociopath.
Yeah. He definitely was at least narcissistic. McElroy actually fathered more than 10 children with different women. No specifics on how many women there could have been. But there was just multiple mothers and 10 children. And he met his last wife, Trina McLeod, who was born in 1957 and was just 12 years old and in the 8th grade.
This guy was just posting up outside the middle school. Or I guess grade school. I don't know. Sometimes it's like middle school, it's high school. 8th grade was my middle school, but for some people it's high. He was just outside the grade school. Just like, where's my child?
And clearly, she was smart enough to be in the correct age group when you're in the 8th grade.
I don't understand how, like, imagine that now.
It's just
Imagine that
Yeah.
now in this day and age, like, oh my god, like, you, like, some creep out there, they just, like, let this happen.
Well, the thing is her parents were opposed to the relationship at first and was like, absolutely the fuck not.
Yeah, but the school didn't, like, say, hey, don't sit outside this grade school and wait for a 12-year-old.
Well, I don't
you
know
grown
if he was
man.
waiting outside the school.
No, he would just post up and pick her up after school.
Oh, yeah.
Just outright.
Yeah.
No, he straight up did. And
Yeah, but they don't know.
literally, like, almost every single person this guy came in contact with during the duration
Just, like,
of
look the
his
other way.
life was useless and complicit.
Mm-hmm.
Completely and utterly useless and complicit. And
Yeah.
honestly, like, I don't know how you could live with yourself being that useless.
And her parents tried to stop the relationship, but Kenny Boy burned down their house and shot their dog. And told them, I'll stop ruining your life if you let me marry your child. And so they said yes.
And they fled and left her with him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What a couple of losers.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. He burned down your house, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, can't you flee with your kid, with your 12-year-old? Put her in the freaking trunk and drive away. Like,
Yeah.
you straight up were just like, okay, you know what? We can make another one. 12, that's fine. We got
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So clearly she was a victim of rape, as not only a minor, but
Crazy.
also non-consensual. She became pregnant at 14 and dropped out of school in the 9th grade and went to go live with creepy McFuckface over here.
Babies having babies.
Yeah, with his second wife, Alice, who still lives with him. And also, fuck you too, Alice, for being complicit.
I know you're probably dead, Alice, but, like,
I hope you're fucking dead, Alice.
you're garbage, Alice.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Anyways, turns out McElroy divorced Alice to marry Trina in order to escape statutory rape charges of raping her.
Crazy, dude.
So there's that. 16 days after Trina gave birth, both she and Alice fled to Trina's mom and stepdad's house. And according to court records, Ken tracked them down, brought them back, and you guessed it, later returned to shoot yet another family dog and burn down this new house. Yeah.
You're 2 for 2, guy.
Yeah.
Can you stop? Stop.
Yeah. So he just killed 2 dogs.
Why
and
the
shot.
dog?
Yeah.
Why the dog?
It's just emotional manipulation, apparently.
Like, why the dog?
Yeah.
What did the dog do?
What's the dog doing?
What did the dog do?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
So, as we've alluded, Ken does meet his timely demise.
Thank God. Loser.
So, these are kind of the events leading up to him getting killed. Based on Trina's story, McElroy was indicted in June of 1973 for arson, assault, and statutory rape.
Indicted.
Yes. Not arrested, not like fully convicted, just indicted. He was arraigned and released on a $2,500 bail.
And if you're curious, like I always am whenever I hear an amount of money years ago, $2,500 in 1973 with inflation is roughly equivalent to about $17,124.27 to be exact. So, around $17,000. Still not a very large bail for what he's done. But
also the thing is he only has to pay 10% of that to actually get let out.
Which is crazy. He's a flight risk, arson, which is always a really big red flag for murder, raping a 12-year-old, 14-year-old.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm telling you, this whole town was afraid of him.
Crazy, dude. Crazy.
Yeah. So Trina and the baby were put into foster care in a home in Maryville, Missouri. McElroy was said to have sat outside the foster home for hours on end, staring at the house. And he actually told the foster family that he would trade girl for girl to get his child back. Not even Trina, just the baby. And told the foster family that he knew where their biological daughter went to school. Of course, additional charges were filed for this, and finally, someone's not fucking around with this man. On July 27th, 1976, a farmer in Skidmore named Romaine Henry, which I swear if Google fucked with me on this one and his name was not actually Romaine Harry, I'm going to be real pissed. But the thought of a farmer named Romaine is very funny. Anyways, said that this Romaine Henry guy said that McElroy shot him twice with a shotgun after Henry asked him not to shoot weapons on his property.
Please don't shoot your weapons on my property. Shoots him twice.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. The shotgun. Twice.
Yep.
The nerve.
While he's out on bail.
The absolute nerve
While
of
he's
this
out
guy.
on bail.
I know. This guy has just got nads.
He's just got gall, man.
Like.
Biggest balls I've ever seen.
What is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm. He was charged with assault with intent to kill, attempted murder.
As he should be.
And he denied he was ever at the scene. The case dragged out without a set court date. Appeals and injunctions and shit. Henry states that McElroy parked outside of his home at least 100 times during this period.
Get a job.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your day?
Yeah. At the trial, though, after, it was actually set, and it goes to trial, 2 raccoon hunters, which that just breaks my heart.
That's random.
Testified that they were with McElroy the day of the shooting, and they were not near Henry's property when they were with him. McElroy was acquitted because the system sucks, and he's a bitch.
What a loser.
And this section I have aptly titled, Thank God He Dies.
Thank God He Dies.
That's the title of my next book.
Bestseller.
Yep.
New York Times.
In 1980, one of McElroy's many children got into an argument with a cashier at a local grocery store owned by Ernest Bo Bowenkamp.
Ernest.
Because his hooligan was following in his dad's footsteps and trying to steal some fucking candy. Apple didn't fall far from the tree.
Was he stealing it because he was following in his footsteps? Or did he just not know any better?
From what I understand, this was a teenager.
He was being a loser too.
He was being a fucking loser. Hi,
And the guy was just like, "Hey, can you just like put that candy back? You didn't pay for it."
Yeah. So, Daddy Dearest started stalking the Bowenkamp family.
Over a candy.
Yeah. And threatened
Crazy.
sweet old Bo with a shotgun behind his grocery store. Keep in mind, Bo is 70 years old. Yeah. That's where I draw the line.
There is just something so particularly ugly about people that prey on the vulnerable. Children,
especially old people.
Children, elderly, disabled, mentally unsound. There's something so particularly evil about that.
I'm telling you right now, if I ever see someone bullying an elderly person in public, I got some shit to say.
I'm throwing down on the spot.
Yep.
On the spot. I mean, I'll speak up if anyone is like...
Yeah, obviously.
Is like picking on... But like, if I see you messing with an elderly person, a child, LGBT, a disabled person, I'm throwing down. You're catching these hands.
Yeah.
Into next week.
Mm-hmm. You're getting a 40-ounce hydro flask to the dome.
And you're getting the...
The Diana Special.
No, what is that? The drink.
Oh, the twisted tea to the face.
You're getting the twisted tea.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you getting.
Unfortunately, he ended up shooting Bo in the neck, which he managed to survive. But McElroy was arrested on attempted murder charges again.
Survived getting shot in the neck as a 70-year-old. What a baller.
Yeah, he's a G. He was convicted of assault at the trial, but freed on bail pending appeal. What the fuck, Missouri?
Like,
what the fuck was up, Missouri?
He had been already in and out, in and out, in and out. Like, did nobody think, hey, maybe we don't give this guy bail this time?
Mm-hmm.
He's a flight risk. He's already being arrested, committing crimes while on bail, shooting people in the neck. Like, 100% irredeemable garbage person, and we're just letting him out for, like, chump change?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are
I'm
you?
sure the fucking prison was filled with black people that they were convicting.
Oh, yeah, it was like the 70s.
In Missouri. Immediately after being released on bail, McElroy went to the local D&G tavern with an M1 Garand rifle with a bayonet attached.
Keeping it classy.
Civil War style, man. And made some pretty graphic threats about Mr. Bowenkamp inside the tavern. Several patrons inside the bar apparently had enough and banded together to see what they can do legally to prevent Mr. Robert E. Lee over here. The sheriff for Nodaway County, Dan Estes, which Nodaway County is, encompasses Skidmore, suggested that they form a neighborhood watch. So
hold on, I need to reiterate that just for those in the back who are hard of hearing. The sheriff said, "Oh, maybe form a neighborhood watch
for this fucking man who has shot 2 people."
I'm sorry, officer, but what are you paid for again? Neighborhood watch for this dangerous man who's already attempted to kill multiple people?
Insert that meme of Kermit drinking the tea.
Like, what are you doing with your free time?
Eating donuts.
I can't. That is just the most asinine. Like, what are you saying right now? Excuse me, officer, how can we stop this dangerous man from terrorizing our town? Oh, I don't know.
Form a neighborhood watch.
Write a letter.
Form that neighborhood watch and let me know if anything happens.
Sign a petition.
Yeah.
Sorry, can't help you. I don't know who could.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Yeah.
Crazy.
On the morning of July 10th, 1981, the townspeople meet up at the Legion Hall with the sheriff to discuss how to protect themselves, how to do this whole neighborhood watch thing. Meanwhile, McElroy's appeal hearing was delayed again, so he was at the D&G Tavern with Trina.
Why is he not rotting in a cell right now while they wait for his appeal?
Exactly. Word gets back to the town people that he is nearby, and they were instructed by Sheriff Estes to not confront him, and instead form the neighborhood watch, you know.
For a guy that already got convicted for shooting a 70-year-old man in the neck and served, count it, 0 days of jail time.
Mm-hmm. The townspeople, after they were told by the sheriff, don't confront him, just form your neighborhood watch, they were like, oh yeah, totally, you're right, let's be smart about this.
Sorry, Sheriff, I don't speak English anymore.
Yeah, they were like, Sheriff, you're so right. See you later, alligator. Sheriff took off, and the townspeople were like, psych! They all run over to the tavern together. So the entire town goes.
Like a full-blown traditional angry mob.
Yeah. So after McElroy finishes his drinks, he buys a 6-pack of beer and leaves the bar and gets into his truck with Trina. Someone shot McElroy while he was sitting in his trunk. In his truck.
In his truck.
In his truck. He was not in the trunk.
He's
he was
so
in the
drunk,
truck.
he got in the trunk. Blasted
He was
him away.
Shot several times, but there were 2 fatal shots. One from a centerfire rifle and one from a .22 caliber rimfire rifle.
I'm pretty sure he was shot 5 times.
Well, he was shot several times, but 2 of them, which were confirmed fatal, were with 2 different rifles.
Oh no, our table.
Yeah.
It's broken.
We know for sure there were at least 2 shooters with 2 deadly shots. All in all, there were 46 witnesses to the murder, including Trina, who was in the truck when Ken got shot. Luckily, she did not get shot. She was not hit at all. Ken was dead. No one called an ambulance. Trina actually got out of the truck and called the ambulance.
46 witnesses, and mysteriously, nobody called an ambulance. I bet there was like that one guy that was like, we should call an ambulance, and everyone just went.
This would have been my face would have been like this.
Put it down. Put the phone down. Put it down. You didn't see anything? You didn't hear anything? Put it down. He's fine. He's fine.
Eventually, Trina called the ambulance. They arrive, and it seems like Trina's the only one who was able to identify the gunmen. She says there's only one. We know there's more than one.
Because there had to be, right? Because the way that he was shot so fast by 2 different weapons.
Well, there was at least 2 different weapons.
At least 2 different weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically you could pull a weapon. You can draw a second weapon pretty quickly.
They were both longer rifles.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's unrealistic for someone to have been able to draw a second rifle and then, handle that, fumble, run off, get away.
Well, no, I think all the 46 witnesses standing there were like, clearly no one ran and got away.
Or they had their gun in their ass. Somebody ran. Somebody had to. They ducked them through the crowd under their arms. They're like, go, 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 go. It's fine. Just go. Hide behind me. Mama, hid it under her hoop skirt.
Someone probably threw it in a car nearby.
Amazing.
The rest of the witnesses claimed to not be able to identify who fired the fatal shots because they were not concerned about the other shots that were not fatal or the ones that didn't actually hit Ken. They were only worried about those 2 fatal shots. The DA declined to press charges, and the federal investigation also did not lead to anyone being charged with his murder because, like I said, all of those 46 witnesses except for Trina basically said,
see no evil. Sorry.
Can't tell ya.
Went blind that day. It was crazy.
You know what?
Oh my god, I left my eyes at home.
There was a solar eclipse. Everything went black for about 30 seconds.
So crazy.
It was crazy. God's just turned off the lights.
Honestly, it was so dark. Oh my god, I left my vision in my other pants. So crazy.
Yeah. Trina did file a $5 million wrongful death lawsuit against the town of Skidmore, the county, the sheriff, the mayor, and the person she accuses of killing Ken McElroy, Del Clement. They settled out of court for $17,600.
Do you think she cared about him and she had Stockholm syndrome and actually was genuinely upset that he was dead? Or do you think she just wanted to get that money?
From what I understand, she genuinely was upset about his death.
Poor thing.
I'm
She
not
was so
going to
brainwashed.
diagnose her, but
I mean,
yeah.
he was abusing the crap out of her, but I mean, she had to have just been mentally unsound, and with the relationships that he held, they were like dependent on him. So she probably felt really lost without him.
Yeah.
Because he controlled every aspect of her life, but
Yeah.
poor thing. But I mean, hey, she got some of that bag.
Well, she got $17,000
I said some.
of her $5 million lawsuit.
Still though, let's see how much it is.
And when they settled out of court, no one admitted guilt. So
17,000 would be in 2023 roughly $116,000.
yeah,
116.5. Not bad. Not bad.
not bad for getting that bag, but at the end of the day, that's how much the city, the county, the sheriff, the mayor, and the person, Del Clement, value Ken McElroy's life to be worth.
I think it was more her emotional distress.
So they settled out for that amount with no one admitting guilt. So to this day, it's still unsolved. And Trina ended up dying of cancer in 2012 on her 55th birthday. That's the story of Ken McElroy, the man who was murdered by the entire town.
I wonder who did it.
I don't think we'll ever know.
No, we'll never know.
But I hope that it felt good.
What a relief it must have been to
From what I understand, like, yes, we went over all of the big things. From what I understand, though, that this man bullied the entire town. Like, everyone in that town had an issue
because it
with
was a small town, so like he made sure that everyone got a piece, and like he was so ugly.
He was not stingy with his bullying,
and it's just like, can you just imagine the relief everyone must have felt when he was finally dead? And it was just kind of like I'm free.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finally free.
Yep.
It's like in Monster House when she dies and he's just like, I'm free. I'm finally free. You don't think so?
Ask me if I've seen Monster House.
Oh. Someone will get it. You get what I'm saying? I thought he was sad, and he's like, I'm finally free!
I hope that's how she felt. Trina.
Maybe towards the end, or like later, but I think at the beginning she probably didn't know what to do with herself.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she was young. Even when he died, she was how old?
She was born in the 50s, and he died in 81.
So she was 30 something.
Yeah.
Late 20s. It's young.
Yep.
But she had been brainwashed since she was how freaking old? You know? 12 years old.
It's really sad.
Girl didn't know what hit her.
I just, I do believe this is a justified murder.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Kill that man.
For sure. The thing is that if the justice system hadn't failed and they actually locked him up, okay, some people will be like, it's just death sentence, blah, blah, blah. But, like, it was failure after failure after failure in every way possible. And these people, every time he would get arrested, they were like, maybe this time. And then he would just get out. Or he'd get convicted and then let out on bail and serve zero jail time. And they're like, oh my God, please keep him locked up.
Yeah.
To the point where they were like, you know what? I'm done. I'm so done. This guy, you guys won't do it, we'll do it. And they did.
They sure did.
They sure did.
And you know what?
I'm glad they did.
I support it.
I'm glad they did. We love a king or queen that, takes their life in their hands,
A little vigilante a little vigilante justice.
Sometimes you just gotta do it. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm glad nobody snitched. Because they probably could have snitched and got some money or something. But everyone was just, like, tight-lipped. They were all a team, all a
10
community.
toes down, baby.
Tight-lipped, diamond hands. They were like, nah, I didn't see anything. Sorry.
You know what I hope? I hope it was Bo, the 70-year-old grocery store man who did that final shot.
He deserved it.
I hope so. Or, like, Bo's grandchild.
Rest in paradise, Bo.
Yep.
We see you.
And rest in pieces, Ken McElroy.
Rotten hell. The devil's dancing on your spine right now. Bye. And that's the story.
Yep.
Dang. What do you think? Do you think that any murder can be justified, and that if the justice system fails, that people can eventually take the law into their own hands? Do you think that's a slippery slope?
Yeah, and let us know if you were one of the witnesses in this crime, if you would have snitched, so that we can block you.
If you would have snitched, remember, snitches get stitches and don't get any bitches.
How were we raised together? But I know that snitches get stitches and end up in ditches.
Oh. I mean, potato, potato.
Tomato, tomato. We'll see
Do you
on
see
the next
how
episode.
she'll kill? I'm lawful good and she's chaotic evil. I won't. She'll kill them. I'm just saying you don't get any bitches. All right. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.